The call to arms missions or survival missions in Red Dead Online are a hell of a lot of fun and definitely worth checking out. I have packed this video full of tips and definitely stay true to the end as I have a great strategy for you to make the absolute most money in these missions. So here are 10 tips to help you survive and thrive in call to arms in Red Dead Online. But first, I'd like to tell you this video is sponsored by Ridge Wallet. The Ridge Wallet is all around a better way of carrying cash and cards on you. I like it because it's practical and still has a slim design, which means people can't see exactly which pocket your wallet's in. And it has RFID blocking, which is, I think, very useful in today's day and age. It holds up to 12 different cards and you can still carry some cash on you, and has up to 30 different colours and styles with over 40,000 5-star reviews. It's a quality product and it does come with a lifetime warranty. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, I'll leave a link in the description, and using the code word DIRTY gets you 10% off. So, very quickly, if you don't know how to start the survival modes, it's pretty easy. You'll get a letter from the post box, then it'll be available for you in the Telegram section in your satchel. The first tip that I have here is something that a lot of people will overlook, and it's very simple, and that is reset your rewards. You're going to be killing a hell of a lot of enemies in these missions, and you're going to be unlocking a lot of awards that you can easily reset to get even more gold from these missions. It's probably best to check these before you start one of the call to arms missions, and if you see an award completion notification while playing one of the missions, you can just reset it when you're finished. Definitely an easy and simple way to maximize your payout while playing these. The next few tips will fall under the category of know your environment. There are 5 different maps that you can play the call to arms missions in, and each of them offer a slight different variation. Dual wielding and a shotgun can come in really handy when you're in the back streets of Blackwater hunkering down, and a rifle is invaluable when you're in MacFarlane Ranch. One good tip is on the area rounds is to use a horse to get around faster. This can help you clear out easy enemies at the very start very quickly, and this will maximize your payout. I wouldn't suggest it in later rounds, as those armored wagons, if they take out your horse, they're going to take you out very quickly after it. When it does come to armored wagons, the best way to take them out, I think, is with a stick of dynamite. If you have dynamite arrows, definitely use them, as that makes it really easy and really safe to do so. Otherwise, they often conveniently park right beside some explosives. Failing that, scoping out the gunner is probably the best option. Sadly, if you do this, you won't be able to take control of the armored vehicle afterwards, which would have been cool. Another thing that's scattered around that can be useful is the oil tanks. You can position them in a place where you think that a bunch of enemies are going to funnel through, and you can also put a bullet in the back so you can create a trail of oil leading up to that area, which you can shoot and blow up if you want. Fire is great when you have a bunch of enemies clustered together, so having a few Molotov bottles on you as well would be useful. You're going to go through a lot of ammo in these missions, especially if you're going solo, so knowing what ammo types and what drops are where on the map is useful to know. It's also worth noting that you can only pick up regular ammo, so it's best to start the match with regular ammo, so if you run out you can always fall back on the different ammo types. Having explosive ammo is also extremely useful when you're trying to tackle the armored enemies that come at you. When I know that they're coming around, I like to put explosive ammo into one gun, and then when I see them, I switch that gun and take them out using the explosive ammo. Next tip is also kind of related to ammo, and that is when you're down to one last enemy, it can be worth leaving that enemy alive so you can run around and stock up your ammo. That said, after a while, the game will just start throwing more enemies at you until you kill at least one, and then it will just say wave complete. But you can definitely get a bit extra ammo doing this. Another question you might have is, should you skip the place NPCs at the start? Well, if you place them, you're probably going to put them in a lot better places than they'll go naturally. If you skip it, they will go to a close area, but they won't be protected with that much cover, so they're more than likely going to die. For example, if you're in Blackwater, you can place them on top of the roof so that they can pick off some of the enemies from on top there, but if you don't place them, they will just move to a close area with a small bit of cover and try to take on the hordes there. You won't actually fail the mission if they all die, so it's not that big a deal if you do skip it. If you are in a smaller group, maybe 1 or 2 people, then it might be worth putting them in better places so that they might actually help you out that little bit longer. But if you're in a group, it's not going to make a huge difference, I don't think. And let's be honest, no matter what you do, they're probably going to die anyway. That said, it is worth keeping them around as long as possible, as they do distract the enemies. It's also worth noting that you can see their health icon above their head before you approach them, and if it's just a tiny sliver gone, I usually just leave them and go and try to help an NPC that needs more help. The best way to succeed in these survival missions is make sure that you're prepared coming in. So before you start the mission, it is definitely worth to make sure that you're topped up in tonics, specifically health tonics. These can easily be crafted at a crafting fire, and if you need any help looking for a specific ingredient, I have videos on every location of everything you could possibly need. Just search Dirty Tyler and English Mace for example, and that will get you some of the best locations for English Mace. I also like to stock up on minty big game, and this can be easily collected over in the mine by killing some alligators and then cooking it up with some mint that you'll find off the shore. Crafting explosive ammo and dynamite arrows is also really useful here as well. I don't purchase dynamite outside of it, I usually try to pick it up as it'll spawn in wave 7 in the mission anyway, so save you a bit of money. Speaking of waves, of course it gets harder the longer you go on, and you're going to have a hell of a lot more enemies and later ones than you will at the start. A lot of people ask me what are my cards that I would use in these, and that kind of depends. It's definitely worth noting here that you can change your cards while playing the actual mode itself, so you could have a loadout to help you get through the weaker enemies very quickly at the start and then convert into a tank mode near the later round. I like to have a gunslinger loadout, so I often use painted black to make sure I can get rid of the bloom. Gunslinger's choice so I can get a bit more power and accuracy in my shots. Eye for an eye so I can regenerate some of that dead eye, and iron lung so I can take less damage depending on my stamina. In the later levels, if you didn't want to go headhunting and you actually wanted to hunker down, you can switch your active card to slow and steady, and that would help you stand your ground. Using quite an inspiration can also be a good choice, especially if in a team. Just make sure that only one of you make it active at a time as it doesn't stack. There can be a lot of variety in your ability cards depending on your play style, so definitely let us know below in the comments. First of all, what is your play style when approaching these missions, and what is your card loadout, and why did you choose those cards? This could really help other players that have a similar play style to yourself, so taking the time to let people know that, I'm sure it'll be greatly appreciated. At the time of recording, if you start a Call to Arms mission on your own, you'll either play the match solo or you'll be part of a group. This is completely random from what I can tell, so you definitely want to be prepared for both options. Solo can be quite challenging and you are going to use a hell of a lot more ammo, and it's going to take you a hell of a lot longer. So obviously playing in a group is more beneficial. If you're doing it with 4 other players, you'll probably do it 4 times faster. You use a lot less ammo, you use less tonics, so that's less time making tonics and that's less money purchasing ammo. When you start these, you'll be randomly allocated a team. It could be 2, could be 3, could be 4. If you start up a posse in a free roam lobby and then start a mission, you'll start that with the lobby. I think this is capped at 4 players. And if you're looking for a place where you can find other people who might be looking to find a dependable posse, I have created a channel on the Dirty Discord where you can actually do this. So just jump onto there and see if there's anyone else on your platform that would like to team up in your time zone and run through some of these missions. If you really wanted to grind these out, you gotta get around that 42-minute cooldown. To do this, I would suggest make a team of 5 if you can, and then what you could do is have one person sit out every round. They could then start the next posse, and 3 of the previous posse can join that, and the other person can sit out. You can then just cycle through 5 matches at a time with one person leading and one person sitting out each time. The key to this strategy is the fact that the person that sat out can then start a posse and bring people who have the cooldown back in to play again straight away. You could obviously make a hell of a lot of money doing this, and there won't be any cooldown. Well, you'll actually get 1 cooldown, but you'll get 4 marches back to back, and then you will sit it out and have a 42-minute cooldown while your team plays that 5th match. If you do this, please let me know how much money you made and how many times you played. I would be curious. That's it for my tips. If you learned anything new or you found this any bit helpful, why not let me know in the comments? That helps me out, and leaving a like always helps me with that algorithm. Massive thanks to everyone who supports the channel, especially channel members. You guys are amazing. Hope you're all enjoying the survivals, and I'll see you all in the next video.